When we install a package using pipenv, two files get automatically created, Pipfile and pipfile.log. These two files are used to keep track of the dependencies of our project and their version. Let's take a look. So first I'm going to open up Pipfile. Here we have 4 sections. The first one is source, that specifies the address of the repository where these packages are downloaded from. Below that we have dev or development packages. These are the packages that we use as part of our development, such as packages that we use for automated testing. They're only used during development, so they don't have to exist for our application to run. Below that, we've got the packages that our application is dependent on. In this case, we're dependent on the request package. And this asterisk you see here, because we didn't specify a version when installing this package, this asterisk means the latest version. If we specify the version, that would end up here. And finally, below that, we've got requires, that specifies the version of Python we need to run this application. So this is our pip file. Now let's look at pipfile.log. This is a JSON file that lists the dependencies of our application and their exact version. Let me show you. So here on the top, we've got this section called meta. Don't worry about that. Below that, we have default. And inside of the default, we've got all the dependencies of our application and their exact version. Here's the first one, certify. Now, we didn't explicitly install this package. This is one of the dependencies of the requests package. So all the packages that we install and their dependencies are listed in this file. So the version that is installed on my machine is this version. Now, if you scroll down, you can find the requests package. And here's the version that is installed on my machine. Now, with all the information stored in this file, we can take our source code, put it on another machine, like a production environment, and reproduce this exact execution environment. And this minimizes or eliminates the situation where your application runs on your machine, but doesn't run on another machine because there is a different version of one of these dependencies on that machine. Now, let me show you this workflow in action. So here on the terminal, let's find the virtual environment for this project. pipenv --venv. Okay, here's the directory. I'm going to delete this directory to simulate the scenario where we copy our project onto another machine. On that machine, this virtual environment does not exist. All we have is the source code of our application, right? So on Mac or Linux, we can delete a directory by running rm-rf and then the path to that directory. Delete. So now if we run pipenv --venv one more time, it tells us that no virtual environment has been created for this project yet. All we have is this source code and our pip files that specify the dependencies of our application, right? So now we need to install all these dependencies, and that is very easy. We run pipenv install without any additional arguments. When we run this command, pipenv will look at our pip file and install all the dependencies of our application. All right, now let's run pipenv --venv. You can see we have this virtual environment, and in this virtual environment, we've got all the dependencies of this project. Now, these dependencies are installed based on the version specified here. So for the request package, we're asking for the very latest version. However, on my machine at the time of development, I've been using version 2.20.1. So chances are in the future, when we put this project on a different machine and install the dependencies, we might have a newer version of the request package. In that case, those dependencies installed on that machine will be different from the dependencies on my development machine. If you want to install the exact same versions listed here, you should tell pipenv to ignore the pip file and use pipfile.log. So back on the terminal, we run pipenv install and then supply an additional parameter, --ignore -pipfile. As you can see, this time pipenv installed the dependencies from pipfile.log.